with other security agencies have rescued 2 girls among the 6 pupils abducted a few days ago in Leah Primary School, Awaza Village, Doma Local Government. The state police spokesperson, Ransom, in an announcement added that efforts were ongoing to rescue the other 4 pupils on hot. Meanwhile, parents of the 11 remaining abducted female students of the federal government college, Yauri, in Kebbi State, have appealed to Nigerians to come to their aid financially, ransom to be paid to terrorists in exchange of their words. That has been a long time.
Yes.
This Yauri guys
spent 20 months in captivity.
Wow.
Yes. About 3 of them have given birth to children for these terrorists.
The girls?
Yes. 2 boys and a girl. Now the parents of the 11 are saying
20 months.
Yes, 20 months. They picked them up June 17, 2021. June 17, 2021. That was the day they were abducted. The northwest version of the Chibok girls, because what happened to the Chibok girls have also happened to these ones. They have been married off to those bandits. Some of them married off to those bandits, and they are aged between 12 and 16, but still in captivity. The painful thing was there was warning to the effect that that attack would take place. But the Federal Ministry of Education, the owner of the school, did not take the decision to shut down the school at that time because they felt it was exam time. Let them
finish the exam on time, and
which was similar to what happened in Chibok.
Girls. Yeah.
Because they also came during the exam time. You know, when those children were preparing for exam and all that. So in this case, we have allowed this to go on for too long. About, I think 130 of them or so. No, I'm not sure of the figure now. Some parents have paid and have their kids released to them. Oh, now, Dogo Gide, who is the terrorist, the bandit leader that led this operation, is asking for 100 million for the final batch. And the most ridiculous thing that I've seen was this family. You know, sometimes when you look behind and in front of you and you can't find a helper, you become confused. They've even posted a Union Bank account where Nigerians can assist them with money with which they can secure the release of this. I've never seen anything like that. Families will now send
their own
account to us that, look, we want to pay bandits, ransom, help us put money here so that we can aggregate money. Yes, fundraising with a bank account, a Union Bank account. It's terrible. When we had this train attack in March 28th last year, invariably we got all of them released. We negotiated. The Kebbi State government negotiated for the release of some of these girls, but there are still 11 left. What happened? Why do we leave some behind? The motto should be no one should be left behind. Why did you do a deal? You got some out of captivity and left the others. Why would you do that?
But those that are married now, I would those that have been abducted and taken and put in family with.
That has happened. The longer, for people who are in the bush and all that, looking at beautiful young girls, the temptation is always there to violate those girls.
Animals.
It happened with the Chibok girls. Now we've seen it happen with these Yauri girls again. They've been delivering babies for the bandits. So we have to find a way. Government must show that it has compassion. the extent to which these parents have gone is all because they know that there's nothing they can do. Where are they going to raise? You know that they said they have sold their properties. They can't raise 100 million. Great. Now, come and help. The Baptist students in Kaduna that were similarly kidnapped, the Baptist mission spent more than 100 million to secure the release of the ones that were
the
released.
church.
Yes. And there are still some left. They spent more than 100 million. This is, if we do not improve security in our country to the point that schools can be kept safe, this sort of thing will not stop. Bandits know that when they kidnap students, it usually draws the attention of everybody. They kidnap bus passengers all the time, but how many times do you read that in the newspapers? So they target school children, knowing that once they kidnap school children, all of us, the newspapers will start shouting, and then the attention of government will be drawn to the need to secure their release. That's why Dogo Gide can be talking in one viral audio clip that they should give him 700 million. And when they told him 700 million is too much, he said, why? Why did you say it's too much? How can you tell me 700 million
for a terrorist?
He said, you are in government, I lead the government of the forest. That's the nonsense he was saying. Now, sir, I lead the government of the forest.
Parallel.
That is not, you don't tell me that money is too much. Is it his fault if we are dropped precision guided weapon on his head? Will he still be able to be harassing our people the way he's doing?
It's in a country that's difficult to make ends meet. Where would you want parents? How do you want parents to 100 million selling what?
It's a very, very unfortunate incident. What we have now seen that kidnapping continues, and there are a lot of people that are still being held, by kidnappers that are yet to be rescued. And this has also shown clearly that the people say that, when you change the money, resign the money, it's going to stop kidnapping. It's not going to. They are still making the same demands. So when Babajide was talking about these women that gave birth, I think one of the greatest trauma one can pass through is to hate your own child, the circumstances of the birth of that child. Realizing that a woman was raped by savages and then giving birth. How do you cope? And your own child that you carry for 9 months. It's very painful. It's agonizing. Watching that child to grow under your roof. Each time you see that child, a child should be a source of joy. But each time you see that child, your joy will be missed with that. I think the report released by SBM Intelligence on the economics of kidnapping in Nigeria, 1 year between just a period of 12 months, kidnappers made 658.7 million that were collected by kidnappers from people. This money that is tax-free, so it's profitable for them. They are not mainly being caught, So if they are being caught and arrested, like Babajide has said, would they continue to do it? So it's becoming a profitable, and it has become a national epidemic now. It's almost all over the country. So I think we're in a very serious situation. That report claims that 3,420 people were kidnapped within 1 year, and 564 people were killed within that same
out of 3,000?
Yes.
500.
So, and you see, 2 weeks ago, I traveled policemen. My heart will skip. Are they real policemen or they are fake? So I think this issue of kidnapping has brought, it has pushed Nigeria to the red light district of global affairs. And if we don't deal with it, we'll not be talking about having real democratic governance. What is the essence of having democracy when there is no freedom? And that freedom is not being curtailed by the government, but by non-state actors who are armed and who can kill at any time. So I think, and I hope that there will be a paradigm shift, in the coming government, that this security problem will be the first problem that the incoming government will tackle, before they put everybody in a situation that, we cannot be proud of this country again.
Today, it's as if some state governors, they've left those people and to their fate.
No, if stay for 20 months.
20 months.
It means they had been left alone. You know, government was paying ransom to bandits. And then suddenly, some of the governors said, no, we cannot continue to pay. So if you are kidnapped, you are on your own. But the reality about that is, if you don't want to pay ransom, if you don't want to use public funds to pay ransom, then protect the people. Make it impossible or extremely difficult for these bandits to operate. Because people vote governments into power to protect them. If you cannot protect the people, and you said you are at the same time that you are not prepared to secure their release from captivity, from bandits, by any means possible, then you are being unfair to the people. You are being unfair. You've got to do your best. If you cannot stop bandits from kidnapping people, then you must do your best to get them out of captivity, either through military operation or through other means. And I know that it's not only in Nigeria that negotiations are done with terrorists to secure the release of people. Even Israel sometimes will get into agreement with their Arab neighbors to secure the release of some of their soldiers. Israel is prepared to release up to 2,000 Arab detainees for one soldier, a soldier. They get into such negotiations. Yes, remains of a soldier, up to 1,000, even 2,000 Arabs in their detention camps, just so that they can get the remains of a soldier. Because they know that once the family will not be happy knowing that they can't find the remains of their loved one. So when they bring the remains, at least he has a marked grave, they can pay him their last respect, they can see his grave from time to time. So the Israelis are always prepared to get into this kind of negotiation, just to release their soldier in captivity, you know, in exchange for hundreds of the other people that have been detained. So it's not with terrorists. It's done everywhere. Using the Red Cross, using other mediators, you know, using the Swiss government. So we've got to find a way, allowing those children to be in captivity for more than 20 months will discourage some parents from sending children to school in an area where we're already challenged in terms of disadvantage, deepening of education, Western education.
And finally, the war against terror in Nigeria specifically